Everybody, it's your boy J Rock back at it again with another reaction. And like I said in the last reaction video, I said I was gonna do like some horror story reactions, and I think I might do like 3 videos of horror stories, like 3 compilations, because I feel like horror stories are like just a different story, and they say that it's scary, and I'm like, I don't care. But they tell me not to watch it at night, but it's very silent up in here for some reason. Well, I know why, because for one, I turn my TV down, my light, and the only sound I hear is that my TV's on. Let's see how it sounds. I gotta turn it off. Alright, now the TV's off, so I'm not gonna get scared. I know that, because I only get nervous like if there was a storm. But you know, me, y'all, alright, because I might end up making it like a 3-minute conversation about me and some stories and stuff before I get into the reaction. They can be started like at 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes, because I've been listening to horror stories like if it was an audio book, because I'm not really trying to get into books that are like scary or mysteries. I'm not into a mystery, but it could be like a compilation with unsolved mysteries that sounds horrifying, or like really sad. But it's real hard to scare me. You could try pulling a prank, but I won't fall for it that easily, because I know when something's up. Like if you try to make a cliche reason for something, like if you say, "Hey, why you walking back?" Like, I gotta go to the bathroom, but I see that the bathrooms is up ahead. It's like you about to do something to me, like when we start walking back. Like, I know something's up. Like, no you ain't. Just get back here. Because I don't listen. I don't take anybody's advice by saying it's a bad idea to watch a horror story in the night. And you see that I don't have a blanket on like the last time I did a horror story reaction. But I'm doing more than one reaction by putting it into one big video. It'll be posted like when I'm going to bed, which would be like around 2. I'm not sure. I think I might do like one of Mr. Nightmare's newest stories, which would be 3 disturbing true summer camp horror stories. Now I'm about to get to the part where I didn't about summer camp. The only time I went to summer camp was back like in '08 when I was still like 6 or 7 years old. Yeah, I was 6 though, but it's at daycare, and it starts summer camp free of charge. But it was real fun. They had a whole swimming pool. It had like this huge backyard. It was like the size of 3 houses where I live. That's how big the yard is. And they have a tree house, 2 merry-go-rounds, and 3 of the monkey bar things, like where you try to do a backflip or something. Yeah, one of those. And I decided that I don't want to attend summer camp anymore, because it seems a bit like school, because it sucks. And summer school is even worse than summer camp. So I'd rather just hang in my house, do reactions, or like do what I want to do while either my mother or my father is at work. But I just have a lot to say, so I'm just getting it out of my system just so I can get it out. So I'm sorry I said 3 minutes for my saying stuff. It's about 5 minutes now. Well, anyway, let's just get into it. I'm about to do like about the You'll see. I'm gonna do more than one compilation. Let's get it.
In 2010, I went to a summer camp called Camp Ernst that my parents signed me up for. Thankfully, it was with my best friend Keith, so I wouldn't be going there not knowing anyone. The camp was for 2 weeks, and it was the typical setting you would expect to see in those old summer camp horror movies like Sleepaway Camp.
Okay.
There were 2 big cabins where the girls and boys slept respectively. There was also a big lodge-type building with an activity center, dining hall, and other amenities, and then various other smaller buildings scattered throughout the camp. Keith and I stayed up later than all the other kids because we wanted to play on our Nintendo DS's together. It was reaching the deep hours of the night, past 2 a.m. We were still playing DS together. That's when the door to the cabin opens. Panicking, we both threw our DS's under the pillows and pretended to be asleep. Footsteps moved around the room, from Keith's bed over to my bed. Then the footsteps stopped at my bed, and for a short moment, I felt the ever-so-soft feeling of someone breathing down my neck. Then the footsteps moved away from my bed and back to the door, before the door shut. I looked over to Keith and said, "That was scary. Especially since whoever that was breathing down my neck." We went back to playing on our DS's. That's when I got a text message on my phone, which read, "Why are you two still up?" Those of us who had cell phones were given a list of phone numbers of the camp counselors who we should call if something were to happen. But that number didn't belong to any of the counselors. Not that I knew of, at least. I texted back saying, "Who is this?" They never responded, though. I told Keith, who didn't have a cell phone, and he was just as freaked out as I was. Obviously, it had to be a counselor. Or so we thought. So we went back to playing on our DS's with the screen brightness all the way down. We both heard the back door to the cabin open. We looked at each other and once again threw our DS's under the pillows. There were no more footsteps, though. Suddenly my phone vibrated. It was another text message from the same number. It said, "It's Counselor Tony. Come outside to the back of the cabin. I have something to say to you." I told Keith, and he said it sounded way too suspicious. Then we both wondered if whoever this Tony person was the one who just opened the back door. I got off the bed and took a few steps to the center of the room, where I could get a view down the hall to the back door. There was no one in sight, so I walked down the hall a little bit. Keith didn't approve. When I got closer to the back screen door of the cabin, I realized there was a little section of wall that caved in, and in that little opening, there was someone hiding. I got a little closer and realized it was not a camp counselor, but some really old, creepy-looking man who was about the same height as me. I ran back to my bed screaming help, waking everybody up. It was at that moment that I heard the back door slam shut. A camp counselor came rushing inside through the front door, and I told everybody what just happened. The counselors went around the whole campsite, searching the perimeter for anyone matching the description I gave. It was a big place surrounded by forest, though. It would be impossible to find someone.
Exactly.
What still doesn't make sense to me is how that man got my phone number. My best guess would be he somehow found a list of phone numbers that the counselors had made.
You made a big mistake, son. You made the biggest mistake yet. This is like, when you find, like, say you made a friend. Yes, you got a friend's phone number. But then you get the first text message from your friend. And you know that you look at your phone and you have the option to report this as junk. So then that way you can either block it or not respond at all. And I don't get this. You should have stayed in bed or ignored your phone. and kept playing on your DS. I I don't get it, man. You should have just reported that as junk, so that way he can't text you no more. He hacked your phone. You don't know this guy. Because if you could describe somebody, you don't know them 100%. You have to know somebody 100% if you know their face, if you know their name, first and last, not middle, because if you know their middle name, you must be a relative. But that's besides the point. Another way that you can know somebody is by their address over the internet. No, not like that. But I mean like over the internet. I mean like the Instagram name or something, or any way that you could know somebody. I know lots of ways you can meet a person. Cause I have only this many friends, only 10, or people that I trust. That's what I say. Because these days it's hard to trust somebody. Thanks a lot, Trump. But anyway, this dude just hacked your phone. Cause this reminded me of me getting a phone call all the way from what's the name of that city? The Moniz, it's in Indiana or one of the states that start with I, and it was some hotel company. I'm surprised that I answered my phone. I should have ignored it, but I didn't have an option though. It said slide to answer, but now it may look at me different now. But if it's a number I don't know, I ain't touching any of that stuff. Even if they say slide to answer, I still ain't answering your phone. You made a big mistake.
I still dream about this experience every now and then. I was just 13. It was my first and last year at a teenager summer camp, which was basically a traditional summer camp for teens aged 13 to 16. The place had some history, though. An old woman who worked on the grounds died from reasons not disclosed to the public. The old woman was one of the former cafeteria workers, Miss Graham. Well, I'll keep this short. It was one of those nights that my brain just hated me and was basically telling me, you're not getting any sleep tonight. I was rolling from side to side in an uncomfortable cot as everyone else was fast asleep. The full moon made for a bright night. Beams of light literally poured into the room from every window. I was so far from tired that I just felt defeated. I sat up and rubbed my eyes, and when I opened them again, I noticed the light from the window straight across from me was blocked by something. I gasped when I saw what was blocking the light. It was a person's head. It looked like an older woman with a red cap on. What the hell is this lady doing? I thought to myself. It didn't really hit me hard until I realized the woman was looking right at me, like her eyes were locked onto mine. When I saw this, I flipped on my side and pretended to be asleep, or maybe I just wanted to hide under the covers like a baby. I gave it a minute before I dared look back at the window. She was gone. I breathed a sigh of relief. The room seemed darker now, though. Something wasn't right. I looked up to the window right above my cot, and 3 feet away from me, at most, there was the same older woman in a red cap, looking straight down at me. Once again, I covered myself with the blankets and cowered in fear. I don't know how long I stayed like that before I actually fell asleep, because the next thing I remember is going to one of the adults running the camp and telling them about the woman with the red cap.
Hold up. I know she ain't sleep. I know she not. Let me say this. You just won't believe what had almost made my heart drop. It felt like about 2 inches. I noticed that it was pretty quiet quieter than ever in my mom's room that's across the hall. It's so quiet. My TV's off. The only source of light I have is this light up here on the ceiling fan and my phone light. I'm the only one up in this entire house listening to a horror story. And I ain't scared. Now that's creepy.
At the two women who were also in his office, and they looked back at him with disturbed faces. One of the women said, "That's so creepy. That sounds exactly like Miss Graham." As she said that, my heart skipped a beat. To this day, I don't know if what I saw at that window was a real person, if it was in my head, or if by some off chance, maybe it was Miss Graham out there. I'll never forget the time I went to a sleepaway camp in Pennsylvania. I was a little kid at the time, and I was very shy. Meeting all the other kids at the orientation on the first day was a scary experience for me. I'd rather be home playing Super Nintendo or something. Some of the other kids made friends pretty quickly. I thought I wasn't going to make any friends, but luckily some really outgoing kids started talking to me early on. I can't for the life of me remember his name though, so I'll call him Mike. Mike was a short blonde kid who always wore a Yankees hat. I thought he was the coolest kid at the time, but looking back now, I realize he's probably one of those kids who turned into a punk troublemaker in high school. During the tour of the campgrounds the first day, Mike and I picked up on a lone bunk building that looked like it had been abandoned and unused for years. We asked one of the counselors what happened. He said he had no idea. It was his first week working there. All he knew was that it hadn't been used for years.
Don't use it.
On the last night of camp, we were in our bunks. Everyone was getting ready to go to sleep. Mike came up to me and whispered something in my ear. He wanted to sneak over to that abandoned bunk just for the fun of it and see what's inside. I wanted to see...
Hell to the E to the O. I will not say that you're a friend. No, you're not my friend. You just want to cause trouble. You just trying to make me kick the bucket, like get me dead, like, cause you don't know what's gonna go on up in there. And look at the picture. You're out in the woods and you're in a cabin. And you know what's been going on lately. There's still been reports of clowns. Like what I said in the beginning of this. I'm like, son, chill. Or I'll say, you know what, dude, I'm gonna go to bed. You can check it out yourself, because I ain't going.
Cool to Mike, since I, for whatever reason, looked up to him, so I agreed. When everyone was asleep, we went outside and kept close to the bunk. We waited until the lights in the counselors' bunks were out, which wasn't long since it was already late. Then we ran down the pavement leading through the counselors' bunks towards the abandoned bunk building. My heart was racing the whole time. I wasn't built to be doing mischievous things like this, not at that age at least. Mike led the way until we were by the door of the abandoned bunk. The front door was boarded up, which is one of the reasons why it caught our attention initially anyway. So we had to go through one of the windows, which, wouldn't you know it, there was one that was completely busted open already. We climbed into the abandoned bunk. Now these buildings were pretty big. They weren't little shacks like you might be picturing. Each bunk had room for at least 10 campers. This one was no exception. Mike and I stood in the dark bunk. It was kind of cold in there. We had our arms out in front of us to make sure we didn't walk into anything. I walked into a bunk bed numerous times, and I heard Mike doing the same. I stopped to listen to what Mike was doing, and I heard bouncing on one of the beds.
Oh!
Shh, stop messing around, I told him. I assumed he was hopping up and down on one of the old bunk beds, but Mike's voice came from the complete opposite side of the room, as I remember he said, That's not me. I thought that was you. We had nothing to use as a light source, so we were in a pitch black room in a building that hadn't been used for years, and all we heard was the sound of someone bouncing up and down on a squeaky mattress. Needless to say, we freaked out and ran for the window we entered from. It was tiny though, so it took a while to get out. While I was waiting for Mike to get out, the bouncing sound stopped, and there was a loud thump sound. Whoever was bouncing on that bed must have jumped off. I jumped up to the window, and as I crawled through, I felt two hands grab onto my foot and try to pull me back in. But I was already out the window.
See what you got yourself into? See what you got yourself into with that boy? Yep. You got into big trouble now. You better hope that somebody can hear you or somebody can see you so that you know can see you. Because I wouldn't have gone with you after the people said, I don't know what's up in there. Because if I was the counselor, I would say, I wouldn't go in there if I were you. Because it's only my first week working here. As a matter of fact, I don't even work as a counselor. It's crazy. Hell wrong with you?
We ran back to our bunk and locked the door. We contemplated running to the head counselor's bunk to tell them, but we figured we didn't want to get in trouble. Yes, looking back, that was a stupid decision. But we got through the night okay and went home the next day, living to tell the story another day.
You know what? It's too quiet right now. Besides the sound that you hear on the video, man, I need to turn on my TV because I hate it when it's just too silent. The only time I want to hear silence is when I'm in a classroom when I'm testing, like for midterms or the final exam. Wait. But also, I'm gonna talk more about like what oh, that's the TV. Hold up. Alright. This is what I'm talking about, like me not being scared. The only thing that might get me a bit nervous will be if it's too silent. Like the only time I want to hear only quietness is if I'm in the classroom, because that's where you're supposed to be silent. But me being the only one up in here alone at night, no, I'm out. Might tell my dad to come pick me up, like let me just tell you a quick story here. Wait, I'm trying to find something to put on. Like one day my mom went way out of town. I mean, like she was out of state. She was in like M-Town, not Miami. She was in Memphis, and I was here at this house for 3 days. 3 days straight. But yeah, my dad picked me up from school and dropped me off here. Did that until she came back on that Friday. It started off on a Monday. It's like 5 nights alone or something. I was just making a pun there, but as I was saying, he asked me, I said, my mama asked me, but my dad said, yeah, he ready. Yeah, he ready to run the house by himself. So this what I did here. I went to bed at 9 with the TV on all night and just watching the TV like with the volume up, so that way I can hear some stuff. I'm just up like that, and no interruptions. Yeah, I may call my mama too. and see what she's up to. Like how's it going on in Tennessee? Yeah, she brought like tons of souvenirs too, but nothing. This is one of my lucky golf balls. It gives me good luck. But I can run the whole house for a whole week. But instead of her coming back Friday, she surprised me that she's back on Thursday. Wait. God. Yeah, I'm tired. As I was saying, I think I can do more than one compilation. I think I'm going to just do this one like I just did. But I'm going to just be having a talk here. Yeah. Something just popped off around like every hour. It started off at 3 a.m. the first night, and then 2 a.m. the second night, and then 1 a.m. the third night, like the night before she came back. I kept hearing like the same sound. So I came in here in this room, turned on the light, looked around, no one to be found, nothing to be found. So I slept with a knife. Yes, I slept with the weapon next to me, but not on the bed because it's dangerous. I had a side table because I slept in her room, like keeping the bed warm, like how people say it, like when you do some house sitting. And it means I was always ready. Like if something else pops off, I just grab that weapon, turn on my light, click that knife up, walk slowly, and then attack. But no, nothing like that ever happened. So it was just my mind. Hashtag mind playing tricks on you. Yeah, so it's just some things running through my mind. And some stuff made me start believing or some scary stuff. But anyway, let's get back on the topic about these horror stories. About summer camp. I didn't really have fun at summer camp until went to this place called Nursery Rhyme. Man, it was it went from awkward. I mean, it went from cool to awkward. I'll tell you why, because at first when I went there, I was the youngest person that came from the school where they picked me up, because I went to the daycare, like after school care. That's what they called it. It was really a daycare too, though. But my mom didn't get off till like 6. Like it's like when it was dark during this time of year. Like it was dark for real. I was like the last one to get picked up, and I was the youngest. And I've been going there until I switched from schools, like a whole other school, but a daycare van, and then I pick you up. But I'm talking about last year. The last year, I was the oldest one at that daycare. Almost 10 years old. I was like 9.5. And like about 6 years later, I paid them a visit, showing them my new size, new face, new knowledge. Because I'm in high school still, sophomore. But they been asking stuff about me. I asked them about my daycare instructors, where they at. I seen tons of people, new people that I don't even know. And some kids that don't know me. Because back when I was at that daycare, it used to be the best. I wanted it to... All I wanted to know was what it would be like to just stay there during the day. But I mean, like, instead of going to school, okay, because they also could take you to school too. Also been there during the school days, in the mornings. It's kind of hard to explain though. I'm just explaining this in the reaction too, but we're finished with the reaction though, so You can leave now unless you want to hear more about this. But I'll keep on going with it. But you can get there. The earliest time you can go there is at like 6 a.m. Because my dad's always an early bird because he's a high school teacher. He's been like that for almost 8 years now, and he used to drop me off here. I remember, not here, I mean there. And what we got to do was like play around a little, exercise a little, because they put on like this. You know, like they have those cheap DVDs or cassettes that you put in televisions, and they help kids get entertained or do some like early morning exercises, yeah, stuff like that. They even offered you breakfast. I didn't eat a lot though, but anyway, I still had a good time over there. But summer camp wise, not really, cause I'd rather stay at the house, which would be here. This home is heaven, and we have strong stuff. Try to mess with us, I would, and you know, like on the first few in the first few reactions of me doing the horror stories, I had a knife on the camera, and you see that I'm always strapped. So if anybody wants to break in, I'm gonna break your body. I will break your organs. I will break your face or your heart. It means like you're gonna bleed out if you going to try to rob me. It's gonna go down. Like General says, if somebody try to rob me, I bet it's going down. Still keep my cool, but I stay strapped though. It's a black one from the south with this laid back flow. Yeah, that's in the song Walking Through the Trap House. Like, this is my house. Rob me, you're going down. Just like that. Like, it takes about like either 3 or 2 hits. I'm gonna do a punch in the eye, a kick in the chest, and stab you in the stomach. But I don't see me killing anybody. I wouldn't really stab them, but I just used that knife to go hunting for real. I just had that just so like I'm ready, because most people like rather like put out like one of those fake guns that takes BBs, but like a BB gun like that's like a 9mm. I don't have that. But I don't know why I'm talking this much, because I would be talking a lot like if I was on a live stream. But you got more questions to ask me in the live chat. Put it like, start off your question like, hey J Rock, and then ask me a question. Then I answer it like that. I answer it within like about no later than 12 hours, because I have a lot of stuff to do. So, see you in the next reaction. Deuces.